Well, our first afternoon session will be by Bouzid. He's with the National Center for Pavement Preservation, and he'll be talking to us today about what they're doing in TSP2. So, thank you.
Well, thank you, Drew. I'm waiting for Mr. Tim to go get his seat. He's not even rushing. Look how he's going slow. Well, if you don't, for some of you that do not know me, my name is Bouzid Choubane. After a long tenure with Florida DOT, I just joined NCPP. Initially, I really wanted to go work for David Pishkin at Aptec, but he was upfront with me. He said there is 50-50 chance that I won't last 6 months, and there is 99% I won't last a year, so here I am. Thank you, Dave. In all seriousness, I just want to ask you to keep Florida and all those affected by Hurricane Ian in our thoughts. So, before my presentation, I would like to share with you some quick facts about the National Center for Pavement Preservation at MSU. NCPP was established in 2003 through a collaborative effort between Michigan State University, FHWA, and the FP2, the Foundation for Pavement Preservation. The primary objective of NCPP is to provide outreach, education, and research needed to advance the state of preservation practice and knowledge. Initially, NCPP dealt with pavement preservation. Today, its portfolio includes pavements and bridges, equipment, and also has the pavement preservation certification program. In addition, NCPP is currently administering the Pavement and Bridge Preservation Technical Services Programs, or TSP2, and the Equipment Management Technical Services Program, or EMTSP for AASHTO. So the TSP2, as you know, has 4 regional preservation partnerships, 4 for pavement and 4 for bridges. This year, in terms of staffing, this year we have had some staff changes. From the purely technical sides, between retirement and people leaving, we have had an entirely clean slate, so to speak, from the technical side. This provided for a unique opportunity to bring on board new people who not only have strong, relevant experiences, but also embody and share our fundamental values. To keep progressing as a team and organization, we must be aligned in our approach as driven by our mission and these core values, one that we cannot afford to veer from. From the bridge side, we welcome Nancy Heather. Nancy had a long tenure with the North Dakota DOT Bridge Division. And then we have Rex Eberly. Rex does not need any introduction. I think Rex is sitting somewhere there. He has more than 40 years hands-on, boots-on-the-ground experience with the pavement preservation industry. And as of the first week of next month, we'll be looking forward welcoming Todd Shields. Todd has close to 30 years tenure with Indiana DOT in different capacity and functional areas, including maintenance, operation, design, and asset management. He is currently the Indiana DOT State Transportation Asset Management Engineer. He has also served as a chairman twice for the Midwest Partnership. I also would like to take this opportunity to reemphasize that synergistic collaboration and partnerships are essential to advance the state of the practice and knowledge. We cannot exist in isolation, and we must interact across disciplines and institutions and organizations as guided by our mission and objectives. As a famous quote goes, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Let me start my presentation by providing context and providing some quick facts that may be of interest. Many people take for granted transportation infrastructure, the very system that supports almost every aspect of our lives. More concerning, though, it does not always appear to be a priority for some of our decision makers to develop and preserve a premier transportation infrastructure system. According to an older report from the House Committee on Transportation I read once, only 2% of the national gross domestic product, GDP, is dedicated to infrastructure, while transportation infrastructure-related goods and services contributed about 9% of the nation's total GDP to the national economy. It is the hope that the recent bipartisan infrastructure law will be the beginning of a paradigm shift. To further highlight how transportation infrastructure is critical to individuals, businesses, and the nation's economy and mobility, let me share with you some statistics from the 2020 US DOT Transportation Statistics Annual Report. Our nation's transportation system drives the economy, connecting close to 8 million business establishments with customers, suppliers, and workers. It serves 327 million residents and 80 million foreign visitors. This is in 2018. Transportation infrastructure is estimated as more than $8 trillion. Public highways and streets accounted for the large share at $3.7 trillion, while other publicly owned transportation such as airports, seaports, and transit structures are valued at $860 billion. The national highway system consists of about 4.2 million center line miles, or 8.8 lane miles, and 617,000 bridges. The national highway system includes interstate highways, as well as other roads important to the nation's economy, defense, and mobility. Local roads are by far the most extensive, accounting to close to 70% of total center line miles. However, interstate highways, which account for just over 1% of total system miles, handle more than 25% of the traffic volumes. Close to 274 million motor vehicles drove a total of more than 3.2 trillion miles. Commercial vehicles, like trucks and buses, accounted for about 10% of the vehicle traveled, or VMT. In terms of the TSP2, as you all know, TSP2 program was initiated as an efficient means to disseminate information to AASHTO members agency for preserving their highway infrastructure, including both pavements and bridges. Its principal mission is to serve as a clearinghouse with comprehensive and up-to-date information on efficient and effective preservation measures that enhance highway performance and extend useful life. The ultimate end game is to advance the state of the practice and knowledge for preserving our nation's transportation infrastructure. Now, why TSP2 and preservation? I think we have come to realize that the area of transportation infrastructure preservation is of tremendous importance to the interest of the nations and its economy. And this is for a number of reasons. There is a fundamental need to preserve the transportation asset, as I mentioned earlier, valued at more than $8 trillion. Preservation is also critical to public agencies' essential mission to provide a safe, resilient, and durable infrastructure, but ultimately it's about economics. There is a number of tangible and quantifiable economic benefits associated with preservation, including significant reduction in construction and management costs, fewer traffic delays and negative impact on traveling public, time efficiency and cost effectiveness to optimizing and get longer service life out of existing infrastructure. Finally, and not least, it is in comparison better for the environment. It typically uses up to 80% less of natural, non-renewable resources, and according to a recent Rutgers University study, extending pavement life through preventive strategies can reduce greenhouse gases by up to 2%. In addition, with the implementation of performance measures through MAP 21 and the FAST Act, states are held accountable for the condition of their transportation infrastructure. This type of accountability represents an incentive for agency to adopt a preservation program, as it is undeniably the most cost-effective approach to improve and maintain a state of good network condition. Finally, in light of the bipartisan infrastructure law, the need to preserve our investment and ensure resilient transportation infrastructure has never been greater. But for preservation to succeed, we must have consistency and continued commitment to preservation program. To put the TSP2 activities in context, the last couple of years have been trying time for all of us. The pandemic has certainly impacted and redefined our normalcy, but it has also been an opportunity for all of us to prove our resilience and dedication to the mission we all share to advance the preservation state of the practice and knowledge. So we all have learned and adjusted and responded accordingly based on the specific circumstances, need, and information of the time. In terms of work activities and accomplishment, we set to address a number of strategic objectives and goals related to exchange of information, implementation of proven preservation practices, training and education, research and innovation, and support administrative services. Regional partnership meetings, such as this one, play a significant role in facilitating the exchange of information. These meetings provide a forum for TSP2 partnership members to stay current and gain knowledge, perspective, and information from exchange of ideas, interaction with attendees from other local and state agencies, industry, academia, and FHWA. It is also a forum where attendees can develop, renew, and strengthen their professional relationships and widen their professional contacts. As part of these partnership meetings, we had in May of 21 a virtual National Pavement Preservation Conference over the course of a week. This conference consisted of 9 sessions with over 750 attendees representing 50 states, 4 Canadian provinces, and many local agencies. We also conducted throughout the year 7 local agency training webinars on bridge preservation with over 300 attendees. In addition, in the fall of 21, we resumed the in-person meetings. We held 2 in-person regional bridge conferences, the first one in Arkansas and the second one in Arizona. We also had 1 virtual meeting. This year we had 5 in-person regional partnerships so far. For the bridge partnership, we held the Northeast regional meeting from June 15th to June 17th in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and then we had the Western regional meeting from August 19th to the 11th in Boise, Idaho. The Southeast regional meeting was held August 30th to September 1st in North Carolina, Cary, North Carolina. For pavement, the Northeast regional meeting was held in Portsmouth, New Hampshire from May 3rd to May 5th. And then we held the Southeast in Jekyll Island, Georgia in March 28th to the 30th. And the Midwest that was held just recently between September 12th to the 14th in St. Louis, Missouri. To continue with outreach and the dissemination of information, on the bridge side, we initiated a page on LinkedIn for sharing upcoming meetings and for other preservation-related current events and happenings. We are also working to enhance the TSP2 website to including page layout as well content and relevant links. We also produced and published a blog that includes interviews and discussion with different bridge preservation practitioners. The partnership collaborated with FHWA Bridge Preservation Expert Task Group to create and publish several concise guides to different to different bridge preservation action, treatment, and applications. This guide are also available for download for use in the field as apps. We continued in the effort to enhance the bridge product database, technology database that lists available bridge desk preservation product, technology, and their respective attributes. The database, which is a dynamic resource for bridge owner, academia, and industry, is designed to potentially include other products, technologies, as well as other product and technology used in transportation area, example pavement, and associated element within the right-of-way. Over the last 2 years, the Bridge Preservation Local Agency Work Group has provided 23 webinars to train local agencies on the basics of bridge preservation. There are still 2 more in the works. In addition, there are ongoing efforts to develop specific bridge preservation training in phase 2 of the training. In terms of pavement-related activities, the state in the Northeast pavement preservation have made available their preservation specification on the TSP2 website. In addition, we guided and facilitated the development of an open access online database for preservation treatment to document related costs and quantities for the Midwest state. The database includes treatment-specific data, including the total quantities, cost, and other relevant information. This allows agencies to learn and understand what neighboring states are doing and benefit from each other's experiences. As a next step, we plan to expand the database to include other regional partnerships. The Asphalt Task Force, or ETF, has been active developing a number of specifications, including 10 material standards, 10 design standards, 4 construction guides, and 2 quality assurance. I put the link if you are interested to access those guides and so forth. I think they will be of much help, just as an FYI. The concrete task force as well has developed construction guide specification for diamond grinding for pavement preservation. All these activities, as I said, and deliverable are listed on the TSP2 website. The TSP2 continues to play a role in the NCAT-Main Road partnership. The intent for our collaboration is also to facilitate the implementation of proven practices and solutions for different regional weather conditions. The existing certification exams have been developed into optional online exams as well. These exams allow to expand the reach to individuals who would otherwise need to go to an in-person meeting or college testing centers to take a paper exam. There is also a Spanish version of this exam. One thing I would like to mention, a number of other materials areas, the certification is pushed by the state agency and there is a resistance from the industry. When it came to the pavement preservation certification, it's the other way around. The industry is pushing for the certification, and unfortunately the state are resistant. I think the certification process is one way to ensure that we have a qualified staff, qualified technician, qualified worker. As a result, it's one way to ensure we have a quality product. So it's kind of ironic that the industry is pushing for the certification and the state are resisting it, when in other areas, it's the other way around. So it's something to think about. Also, as I mentioned earlier, we have also conducted 7 local agency training webinars on the basics of bridge preservation. In terms of research and implementation, we have actively participated in developing the recently released update of the FHWA Pavement Preservation Research Map. We were also awarded an NCHRP project for the implementation of the ETF developed specification for chip seal, macro surfacing, and fog seal. The subject project includes training and series of demonstration projects. Training materials have already been developed for fog seal, chip seal, and macro surfacing treatment. Further, and more in-depth detail will be provided during one of the technical sessions during the meeting. And I think the next presentation will be done by Rex, and he will provide you more detail on that. We continue to provide support for the 12 Midwest State Pool Fund study to address the need for improved deterioration rate for Midwest State to better forecast future bridge condition and to identify, prioritize, plan, budget, and implement work action in a timely to improve management of the bridge asset. We recently facilitated the project for the 4 bridge preservation partnerships with the primary objective to gather and compile information regarding current state practices on sealing concrete decks. In terms of future plan and activities, one of our overarching objectives, as you know, is to continue to work together to ensure that the mission of the TSP2 program is effectively and efficiently achieved. As such, we will continue to provide technical support, facilitate regional partnerships activities, provide effective interactive website, and offer targeted individual assistance as needed or requested. We have recently submitted a TSP2 triennial plan to AASHTO for consideration. The proposal plan addresses strategic goals and activities related to 3 overarching objective categories, namely outreach, training and education, research, and innovation. We have resumed our in-person regional partnership meetings. The schedule and date are shown on this slide. The National Pavement Conference is scheduled for September 18th through the 21st of next year in Indianapolis. I certainly hope that the state play a major role in the agenda of that presentation, and I hope there will be many states within this partnership that will provide speaking engagement and speaking topics. For the National Bridge Conference, it is set for the 2024, but the date and location are yet to be determined. So this concludes my presentation. I thank you for having me, and I wish you a productive rest of the week during this meeting, and hopefully you will have a chance to discover what Albuquerque has to offer as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bouzid.
Yeah.
The preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.